And then they started bringing up, oh, well, there was a bill in the 1960s that allows the Cubans to come here. And I said, but do you actually support the bill? Like, are you consistent with the bill? If you are consistent, then you would allow Venezuelans to come here. And they just kept going back on, oh, legality, legality, legality. So I was in a room with 20 versus 1, and I kicked their ass. Which also, oh, you want? No. Okay, yeah. Sure. I will do audience questions soon, and I'll do it after this quick announcement. That's an excellent transition of what I just said there. So, like I mentioned during my initial speech, the college Republicans blocked me on Instagram about a year ago because I asked them to a debate. Okay, I did debate one of the TPUSA members, and I would say I dominated. Okay, I took it easy on it, but they blocked me afterwards. There's two reasons I have in mind. Either that they didn't like how they saw one of the members' performance and they're scared, or something else. I'm not gonna say what that something else is right now. Let's just say I think they're a lot more radical than they think they are, and they don't want to be exposed for that. And I have proof for that, but that's for another time. So I went to the meeting, like I said earlier, and they unblocked me on Instagram. They unblocked the college Dems on Instagram. Pressure works, I suppose. But after the unblock, I DM'd them and I asked if they were interested in the debate. They have not seen, or they have not opened the message. They have posted, we're still blocked from saying their stories. There's something they're afraid of. I don't know. But Dennis Prager was saying how the left is afraid to debate. The left is not. In this case, they seem to be running, but we're still extending our hand to set that up. And we want to set up two things. One, a debate, of course. And two, in the past, college Democrats and college Republicans at FAU have done events together. They've collaborated. They did a dodgeball game, athletic competition, athletic spirit. So I met the president of the college Republicans. He's like me. He's a short, spectacled, nerdy kind of guy. I'm not even attacking him, so am I. So because we're so equal in that regard, we're both presidents as well, I would invite him, not just to a debate, but to a boxing match. Why not? We have a boxing club at FAU. I think it could be done. I think I'm gonna win, but I will give him 5 to 6 months to train. I will be training as well. I think it could be done. I think it could be great. I think I'm gonna kick ass, but I just want to let that all be out there on public record. I will be going to the meeting tomorrow and proposing the idea then. At the moment, we'll see how they respond. But now is the time for audience questions. Anybody, if you have a question and you want to come up, you can ask. Or if you have a question and you want me to speak it, just let me see the paper and I got you. Okay, one person is coming up to ask a question. But I guess, what are your thoughts on the boxing match? You got a punching bag recently. Are you training for the creator class or something?
I boxed for 8 years, long before I started doing YouTube stuff. I'm very out of practice, but yes, it is a lot of fun.
I think you can consider the influencer boxing, get in the KSI card. Maybe, there's some heavyweights out there.
I've got pretty bad joints now. I'd have to really think about that.
Gotcha.
Tragic. I'm a wilteringly old 28-year-old now. I've got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, okay, we got our first question here.
Hello, Bosch.
Howdy.
First I want to ask you, so just to sort of clarify your opinion on something. You said that you think it's okay, because it's good to have sort of open discourse with fascists, so that you can change, I guess, the opinion of the audience. Would you agree with that?
If it's in a good context. There are bad ways to platform and to have discussions, of course.
What way do you think would be a bad way, or a bad type of discourse if you're trying to change minds of sort of the audience of a fascist? You know, someone like Nick Fuentes, for example.
Well, there are fascists who are far smaller than you, and by platforming them, you risk potentially elevating their audience in a way which is more beneficial than anything you could get from doing better than them. There are also many fascists who have completely given up on pretending to have a good argument, and at this point simply engage in debate as a way of spreading their notoriety. Like, they would just have a debate and just yell slurs or just loudly exclaim things without any substance. At this point, I don't think there's any point in talking to them. The proper debate should be one in which both people are capable of being humiliated. If I come to a debate and I make a point and I am proven wrong, I feel bad. But there are people who will confidently say things that they know are not true, and when it's proven they're not true, they'll just move on to another thing because they're shamelessly anti-empiricist. In such a context, there's not really a point in talking to them. It's better to just focus on other people. Most people do at least pretend to care about the things they believe in.
I think I would agree with a lot of that. I would agree that there are a lot of fascists that sort of, when you talk to them and you disapprove a certain point that they make, they'll just jump to the next point because it's not really about proving a point. It's about setting up an ideology and then sort of saying, this is what we get from the conclusion of that ideology. And so I think that there's a lot of ways that one could platform a fascist. And I think the way that one should do it heavily depends on the type of person you're talking to and the type of person that you are. And I think that if you're talking to someone and your ideas are better than them and you're better at presenting your ideas than them, then I think 9 times out of 10, you should always try and talk to that person and try and delegitimize their ideas from your audience. At least